Here's something nobody tells you. The hardest $10,000 you'll ever save is not your first $10,000. It's the one right before it, when you have basically nothing and every emergency wipes you out before you even get started. But here's the twist. The way you think about money at $10,000, $100,000, and $1 million isn't just different by degree. It's different in kind. The rules change, the stress changes, even the mistakes change. So today I'm walking you through what actually shifts mentally, financially, practically at each of these three milestones, not the Instagram version, the real one. Let's get into it. At $10,000, your entire financial life is about one thing: survival and stability. You are not thinking about the stock market. You're not thinking about diversification. You're thinking, if my car breaks down, can I fix it without going into debt? That's the whole game. Here's what most people don't realize about this stage. $10,000 isn't a wealth number. It's a stress reduction number. Studies on financial well-being consistently find that having even a small buffer, somewhere around 1 to 3 months of basic expenses, is what actually moves the needle on anxiety. Not becoming rich, just not being one flat tire away from disaster. At this stage, your biggest lever isn't investing. It's not even saving, really. It's income and expenses, the gap between them. A lot of people at $10,000 make the mistake of obsessing over their savings rate on Twitter threads about FIRE and index funds, when the real unlock is boring. Negotiate your salary, cut the subscriptions you forgot you had, and build a real emergency fund before you touch a brokerage account. The psychological trap here is comparison. You see people posting about their investment portfolios, and it makes $10,000 feel small. It's not small, it's the foundation. Nobody builds a house by skipping the foundation to get to the second floor faster. One more thing about this stage. Debt matters more here than anywhere else. High-interest debt, credit cards especially, can erase your progress faster than you can build it. At $10,000, killing a 24% interest credit card balance is a better use of money than almost any investment you could make. That's not a savings account. Nowhere near it. Somewhere around $100,000, something changes. Compound growth starts pulling its own weight. This is the stage people call the first 100,000 is the hardest. And there's truth to that. Not because the math is harder, but because at $100,000, your money starts making real money without you doing anything. If you're earning even a modest return, you're looking at thousands of dollars a year, showing up just from growth. That's the moment investing stops being theoretical and starts being tangible. But here's what actually shifts at $100,000. It's not the money, it's the questions you start asking. At $10,000, the question is, how do I not lose this? At $100,000, the question becomes, how do I not waste this? You start thinking about tax-advantaged accounts. You start thinking about asset allocation. You start caring whether your money is sitting in a savings account, earning nothing while inflation quietly eats it alive. This is also where lifestyle creep becomes dangerous. A raise hits, and suddenly there's a new car, a nicer apartment, more dinners out. The math still works on paper. You're still saving. But the gap between income and spending, the thing that actually built your first $100,000, starts shrinking. And that gap is the engine. Kill the gap, and you kill your own momentum. At $100,000, most people also start feeling a false sense of security. This is where a lot of financial complacency creeps in. People stop tracking spending closely because things feel fine. But $100,000 in a market downturn can become $75,000 fast. This is the stage where risk tolerance actually gets tested for the first time, not just talked about. The mental shift that matters most here. You start thinking in net worth, not paycheck to paycheck. That's a genuinely different operating system for how you make decisions. About jobs, about spending, about risk. Here's the uncomfortable truth about hitting $1 million. It doesn't feel like what you think it will. A lot of people assume $1 million means you've made it. Yachts, early retirement, problem solved. In reality, for most people who reach $1 million, especially if a big chunk of it is tied up in a house or a retirement account, it can still feel like a normal, unremarkable life. The number is big. The lifestyle change is often small. What actually changes at $1 million is optionality, not luxury. You start having real choices you didn't have before. Could you walk away from a job you hate? Maybe. Could you take a year off? Possibly. Could a medical emergency or a bad year financially ruin you? Almost certainly not. That's the real prize at this stage. Not stuff, but the ability to say no. The psychology shifts again, too. At $10,000, you fear loss because you have so little margin. At $1 million, a strange new fear shows up. The fear of blowing it. People at this stage often get more conservative, not less, because they understand exactly how long it took to build and how fast bad decisions could unwind it. This is where financial discipline stops being about hustle and starts being about protection. Insurance, estate planning, diversification, not putting everything into one hot stock tip from a group chat. And here's the part almost nobody talks about. At $1 million, the biggest threat to your money usually isn't the market. It's lifestyle inflation, bad advice, and overconfidence. More people damage $1 million net worth through poor decisions during good times than through market crashes. The market recovers. Ego-driven decisions don't always. So here's what ties all three stages together. At $10,000, you're building a floor so you can't fall through. At $100,000, you're building an engine so your money starts working for you. At $1 million, you're protecting the machine you built and using it to buy freedom, not just things. The amount of money changes by 100 times between these stages, but the underlying skill, spending less than you earn, protecting yourself from downside, and giving your money time to grow, never changes. That part stays exactly the same from your first $10 to your millionth dollar. If you're at $10,000 right now, don't compare yourself to someone at $1 million. You're playing a different earlier part of the exact same game, and everyone who's ahead of you started exactly where you are. If this helped you see where you're at and where you're headed, hit subscribe. I break down how money actually works, without the hype. I'll see you in the next one.